This is a lovely lady. Her name is Karen Dorsey. I met Karen about a month ago, and I wanted her to have her on my show. She has a unique background, and she's a certified divorce coach. She's also a mediator. She has a background in education. She has a background in therapy and counseling. And I thought it was really timely to have Karen on here because of what's going on in the world. Lots of fear, lots of anxiety amidst this COVID crisis in the world. And I know it's affecting a lot of custody cases because I'm getting the calls in my office. So let's talk about communication for a minute. People have difficulty communicating with their ex or their soon-to-be ex over the children. Communication wasn't already difficult enough with somebody who you don't want to be in a relationship with anymore. Like, this has taken it to a whole different level because now we have kids being homeschooled and parents are sharing time. Kids are going back and forth. Communication is more vital than ever. People have to be on the same page for the sake of the kids. How are we communicating with that ex who is a high conflict personality or who's just really difficult, especially during this time? Do you have any thoughts?
So there is a gentleman who's a therapist, a mediator, an attorney named Bill Eddy. And if you go on Bill Eddy's site, he talks a lot about high conflict people and high conflict divorce, high conflict partners, high conflict spouses. And one of the things he talks about is how do you communicate when you're trying to co-parent with a high conflict ex. So what he describes, and if you Google it, you'll find it. It's called BIFF. It's BIFF. And BIFF is how you respond to a high conflict person. And it stands for brief, informative, friendly, and factual. So, say for example, you're getting a text from your ex, and it's kind of like he's going, you know what, you said, and he's going on, and it's accusatory, and it's a rant, and how you can respond is, hi, I got your text, and what I was asking is, may I bring, Johnny home at 5:00 instead of 6:00? The reason is I need to stop by and pick up something, and I'd really appreciate that. There's no emotion in it. It's short. It's just, what is the information you're trying to convey? What are the facts? And you're friendly. You don't have to go overboard, but it's just, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. That type of thing. So that's a BIFF response. And when you're dealing with a high conflict person, it kind of shuts them down because they have nothing, you're not going, you think I'm angry? How about you? You're always, you're the one who, that tone.
Yes.
So it just shuts down. It shuts that conversation right down to the brief, informative, factual, and friendly.
Thank you for that, Karen. How I can tell you because I had a recent experience with another attorney who's a high conflict personality. And, we had like several back and forth about an issue in this case that we're handling together. And with every email that she sent to me, it just I got angrier. And it goes to show all my viewers how human I am, and how I have to fight to keep it together, And how do you know when to stop? How do you know when to call it quits? Because, I realized after I had sent the third email and then she sent one back that, okay, this is never going to stop unless I stop engaging. So how do you know when to stop?
Yeah, I would say to give it some time. One, I don't know, if you have to respond in a certain amount of time, but if you don't, then wait. And I think if you can wait till the next day to respond to that, then it kind of takes the level of anger that you're feeling down. Maybe your response will be just back to the facts. and taking that, where you were so angry a day. And it's the same thing with dealing with a high conflict person. And clearly this is a similar situation. Take some time.
Okay.
Take some time. Do you have to respond?
Yeah. In this case, like I didn't, but yeah, it's so I can see you all of you viewers, how easy it is to get sucked in because just reaction, just out of reaction. But no, I didn't have to respond, and I didn't have to respond right that second. So I think that's really good advice. Wait, do nothing.
Wait. And then where you are emotionally will dissipate, so that when you are going to respond, you'll feel differently, so you can respond differently because you're not as heightened in that moment of, I cannot believe she's saying this.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So, and I had many years ago a life coach before life coaching was the thing. It's a long time ago, like 15 or 16 years ago. And one piece of advice that he gave me that still rings true for me today is that before you're going to make a big decision, always sleep on it, always wait on it. And I feel like that should apply to responding to a high conflict ex. Before you respond, sleep on it.
Absolutely. I mean, unless it's, an emergency. Sometimes I tell my clients, they'll say, this is what he or she sent me. And I'll say, do you have to respond to that? When you take time, sleep on it, maybe you don't even need to respond to it, right?
Right. Exactly. That's right. And there's many that you don't, I think, have to respond to. I probably could have avoided responding to a couple of the messages by this person, but I think I let the Latin blood take over.
Yeah, we're just human, right? We're just human.
Exactly. So, and I'm sharing this with you guys because I want you to know that, despite the things that I talk to you about and share with you, I've only learned them because I've gone through them myself. And I still am making mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've had a lot of opportunities to make mistakes in the past. And really what I want to do is save you all from making mistakes that I've made in the past or that I've seen made in the past when it comes to things like, communications and engaging with somebody who's a high conflict ex.